Ever wondered what happens when you no longer need to be registered for tax purposes? What is the process of tax deregistration, and how does one navigate this transition? Stick around as we demystify the process and make it as clear as a summer day. The tax deregistration process begins when a person ceases to be required to be registered under a specific tax law. This could be due to a variety of reasons, such as the closure of a business, retirement, or even the unfortunate circumstance of death. At this point, it becomes necessary to apply to the Commissioner for deregistration under the relevant tax law. Now, how does one go about this application? The registered person must apply for deregistration in the prescribed form and do so within 30 days of no longer needing to be registered under that tax law. It's all about timing and following the due process, but hold on, there's more. If a tax law requires a registered person to apply for deregistration in addition to the requirement under this section, that person must also apply for deregistration in accordance with the provision of that tax law. This is to ensure that all the bases are covered. Once the application is received, the Commissioner will review it. If the Commissioner is satisfied that the person is no longer required to be registered for the purpose of a tax law, they will notify the registered person of the deregistration in writing. In some instances, the Commissioner may, on his or her own motion and by notice in writing to a person or a person's tax representative, deregister the person. This is applicable when the person is a natural person who has died, a company that has been liquidated, or any other person that has otherwise ceased to exist. Now, when does one officially stop being a registered person? The answer is simple. A person ceases to be a registered person on the date of notification by the Commissioner in relation to the deregistration. But what happens if the Commissioner fails to respond to the application for deregistration within 6 months? In this case, the applicant is deemed to be deregistered. It's as if a silent bell rings and the process is automatically completed. Finally, if the deregistration of a person requires the cancellation of that person's registration or license under a tax law, that registration or license shall be cancelled on the effective date of the deregistration. In summary, tax deregistration is a process that involves applying to the Commissioner in the prescribed form and within a certain timeline. The Commissioner then reviews the application and notifies the person of deregistration if they are no longer required to be registered. In some cases, the Commissioner can deregister a person on their own motion. A person officially ceases to be registered on the date of notification by the Commissioner. If the Commissioner does not respond within 6 months, the person is deemed to be deregistered. And if deregistration requires cancellation of registration or license, it is cancelled on the effective date of deregistration. Navigating the tax deregistration process may seem complex, but with this breakdown, it becomes a manageable task. Remember, it's all about timing, following due process, and keeping an eye on the Commissioner's response.